is Lisa Dixon, Dr. Lisa Dixon, and I am the editor of Psychiatric Services. The journal Psychiatric Services is near and dear to my heart. I've loved the journal ever since I was a resident. It had the kind of articles that reflected what I was interested in learning about, and also its focus on psychiatric practice and service delivery was just very consistent with both my research interest and my focus on delivering clinical care. My vision for the journal is to make it the go-to journal for research and practice, questions and answers that will help us provide the best possible care for people experiencing serious mental illness. We have a lot of important research, and the other journals in the portfolio provide us with very, very important information about the basic underpinnings of mental illness and what treatment we need to provide and what are its causes and what is the epidemiology. What Psychiatric Services does is it really focuses on the treatment, both the research on treatment, and then increasingly I am trying to focus on the application of the research in the real world. So rigor and relevance are the two my two North Stars, if you will, if you can have two North Stars. My two, the kind of the dual vision. I want rigor and I want relevance. I want scientists who study service care delivery to submit articles to the journal that matter, and I want the readers of the journal to use that information for whatever they do in their research, in their practice, in their administration. I want readers to be from all walks of service delivery, including service users. I'm very interested, because in order to have the best quality of psychiatric services that is relevant to the people we serve, we must have all of these voices. We must have service users, we must have families, we must have clinicians, we must have administrators, we must have payers, we must have insurers. All of these voices are important to the service delivery endeavor, and I want the journal to be part of sort of the everyday, check my email, look and see what's in Psychiatric Services this month or this week in terms of our online releases. We cover the journal Psychiatric Services historically has had more of a focus on the so-called SMI, serious mental illness, and we still have a very strong focus in that area. But I want to be clear that now I'm interested in the full gamut of psychiatric services for the whole variety of populations and disorders and delivery system issues. And actually, I do want to make it clear that we are interested in policy as well as clinical care. So, because again, policy, financing, the rules, the regulations, how, we interface with insurance, all of those things matter for care quality. And I see patients, I have a small clinical practice. Anyone who does that knows that, of course, how a service gets paid for, how the individual gets to your appointment, who has the office next door, and what services does that person provide. All of that can matter in psychiatric service delivery, and I think it's fair game as a topic for the journal. You might ask, well, what kind of articles do we have in psychiatric services? Am I going to find the kind of material that I can understand? And so again, what I'm trying to do, building on the great work of my predecessors, Howard Goldman and John Talbot, the previous editors, is to have a variety of articles that can speak in different languages. So of course we have research articles, we have regular articles, and we have brief reports. We also have now reviews and overviews, which are synthetic pieces to kind of review an area of the literature. I think a lot of people find those to be helpful because you may not have time to read everything, but you want to have something that puts the field together for you. And of course, all of these articles are peer reviewed, so you know that they're high quality. In addition to research reports and reviews and overviews, we also have a whole group of articles that I call columns. And I think of columns as stories. They're stories that, we have a number of different topics in columns, everything from state policy to economic grand rounds to law and psychiatry to value in healthcare. We've just started a column in culture and psychiatry. We're starting a new column in social determinants. So these are stories that reflect experience. They can reflect a researcher's experience. They can reflect a partnership between practitioners and academicians. They're pieces that tell a story in plain language that we, the column editors and the reviewers, think we can learn from. And so I like to talk about columns as a way for individuals who are interested in writing, interested in teaching, interested in sharing their experience, but who aren't researchers per se. The columns are a very important outlet and option for people who actually might like to write, who feel like they have something to say. There's also something called frontline reports, which are 750-word descriptions of new and innovative programs. We have a short column called Data Points, which focus on one specific data point and discuss it. Very simple. It's like a graph or a figure that then we can sort of speculate about. There's a new column called Viewpoints, which is a 1,200-word essay on a topic. I'm looking for material that is controversial, that's provocative, that's synthetic, that will teach us something perhaps about a current event. And along those lines, we have another type of offering called Open Forum, which is a chance for, I think it's 1,600 words for someone to sort of opine thoughtfully, always thoughtfully and scholarly, in a scholarly manner, on a particular topic. Maybe to say something new, to put together the field in a different way. We have letters to the editor as well. My purpose here, and sharing this with you and speaking as an editor, is both to try to motivate the field to send us the best possible work. We will be responsible with it. We will peer review it. We will take care of it. We will make it the best it can be. And we will, of course, ultimately decide whether it belongs in the journal. But the other side of the coin is we want readers. We want readers who use the material, who think it matters, who tell us how it matters. And increasingly, we want to do this not just through the traditional venues of articles that you read maybe and you put somewhere on your computer and perhaps never look at again. Us researchers, we do, but a lot of us in the field, we don't have, that's not a part of our workflow. It's not a part of how we learn. So we have to be in social media, in your emails with short, this is the study, this is why it matters, this is why you should look at it. And so we're really working to promote our content through the new knowledge channels that I think all of us live in. And in addition, sort of speaking of new ways to communicate, we have a podcast. I do a podcast with a young colleague, an early career psychiatrist who is in charge of all the technical part other than, we have a podcast where we'll take usually three articles that have come out online, and we discuss them. We summarize it, but then, well, what does it mean? Why does this matter? What are your questions about it? What are my questions about it? And we're trying to get that again is a way to take the content that's in the journal and contextualize it for the lives of our readers.